This is 11, the tabletop football game that puts you in charge of the team.
Hi, welcome back to Box Delights. Welcome to this preview of upcoming Football Manager game 11. I'm pretty excited about this one. We needed a decent footy game, and this one plays and feels like you're managing a football team, with resource management, tableau management, and tactical gameplay decisions to be made. This is a prototype, so artwork's prototype, even the rules are still in development. So what I'm going to be doing for you today is giving you a demonstration of how this might play. The flow of the game, the basics of the game are pretty much set. It's just balancing. They're just balancing, tweaking some of the costs of players, some of the effects, adding more content. So for example, we're playing a solo scenario today called Surviving the Third Division. We've only got third division teams, but in the final game, you'll have second and first division teams as well. Lots more scenarios. And you'll be playing 1 to 4. So you can play against up to 3 other human players plus 4 NPCs, non-player teams as well. So I'm not going to hang around. I'm going to dive straight into the gameplay, show you how this thing works. We've got a stadium where we can improve infrastructure, build stands, put up ad boards from sponsors. We've got a club board with a set of club directors, staff, resources that we manage. And we've got a team board where we can recruit defenders, midfields, forwards, pick our team for the game, their formations, their tactics, get a result, and then compete in a league to win victory points. You win the game by scoring the most victory points. So your position in the league, what staff you get, what objectives. Everyone's got secret objectives. Like mine here is win the 5th match for 2 victory points, win it with a goal difference of 3 for another 2 victory points. There's lots of different objectives. Solo scenarios will give you other objectives worth VPs. So for example, train 3 youngsters, 4 victory points. Right, so there's different ways of picking up victory points throughout the game, as well as placing well in the league. With a series of scenarios, there's promotions and relegations as you move through the divisions as well. So this is our player area. This is our stadium, our club and our team. This is the market where we can buy new players, new staff, new sponsors. And then we've got infrastructure that you can place on your stadium. Okay? All prototype, remember. The league plays over 8 weeks, and we have a stage marker that marks the different stages of the week. There's 5 stages. Monday morning begins with production and a board meeting. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is where you can take all your actions. This is where you're managing your club, buying new staff, new team players, that kind of stuff. And then match day is at the weekend where you'll play out your team tactics. So let's start off with Monday morning's board meeting. Before we gather around the table, we collect our resources in the production step. Here's a track to show my current levels, which were determined by my starting board of directors. In a multiplayer game, you'll be drafting these. In the solo, we've got these 3 directors. Like I say, artwork is just placeholder. So we start our budgets on 2, so we get 2 money. Red here is our fan base. We just got 1 fan base. Green is our operations. So how much stuff can we do? We get 3, and then 3 fitness. How fit are our team? So those are our starting resources. Next we have the board meeting. So we're going to pull a board meeting card. See what it says. It says Team Doctor. Your doctor suggested that your best defender is suffering from a light strain and should be rested for the next game. But he's scoring for fun at the moment and he's highly motivated because you're playing his former club next match. And then our board of directors make a decision. This is like a random event, effectively, right? But there's 3 different outcomes on each card, a yellow, blue, or a red outcome. Our board of directors will now vote. So to do this, we roll a d6. We roll a 5. We look, each of our directors has a number that determines what they'll vote. Anna votes red. She's eager to have him play. Caroline says we can't risk it. That's a no. And Mia says no. She says blue as well. So red, blue, blue. Blue wins the vote. Instead, we take 1 fitness. Okay, so just a little bit of randomness to throw us into the start of the week. Let's push on to Tuesday. That's Monday done. Monday's board meeting. Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday all play the same. We've got 3 rounds of taking actions. You can take 1 action and 1 free action. We'll come to the free action in a minute. It's called a free action, but you've got to pay for it using your ops. So 1 action, and with that action, we can go to the market. We can hire a player, hire a youngster, kind of like the farm system. We can sell players. We can hire staff, we can contract a sponsor, we can build stadium infrastructure, or we can use actions on cards. Some of these cards have action on them. Action. Incidentally, that makes me... Yeah, this one says, feature when the blue option is chosen, gain 1 ops. I should actually have 1 more ops as well. So we've got another ops. So why don't we haven't got much money, but let's do the interesting. Let's show you how to go buy a player. We've got 2 money, right, from our economy, from our budget. And let's have a look in the market. There's 5 cards in the market. At the beginning of the game, you can only buy the 3 rightmost. These are kind of upcoming. You can see what players are coming through. And then this is the youths over here. There's 1 available youth. Youths you can take for free. They don't cost any money. These 3 have a cost in euros up here at the top. So Barbeau costs 3, Jones costs 2, and Young costs 2. So Young is a midfielder. He has Schwalbe. He's a bit of a diver. Okay. Jones has captain as his ability. He's a defender. And then Barbeau is a specialist penalty kicker. He's a midfielder. Well, I've got 2. Why don't we take Jones? Grab ourselves a defender. Right, so I pay my 2. Grab Jones. We'll place him on our team board. I'll do that in a second. Everything else slides to the right, and then we refill from the top of the deck. Okay, so now Garcia has become available. Now Jones is a defender, so he's going over here next to our team board in a defender spot. All right. We may or may not play him in the next match. We'll see. So that was his cost. We're managing a team of 10 players. There's no goalkeeper here. You've got 10 players. They're 10 unnamed players, and they're all deemed to have a strength of 1. Jones, now we've got a named defender, has a strength of 2. So he's a better defender. He also has a special ability down here. For 2, it's kind of an action, but for 2 fitness, 2 of these blue tokens, if we choose to place these here, when we're setting up for our match, he can take this effect, alright? So he can roll a die and gets temporary +2 strength. We can boost him up to a strength 4 if we're lucky with the die roll. Alright, so that's his ability. However, we can train players and make them better. So that's my Tuesday action done. Now, for 2 ops, I've got 4 at the moment. For 2 ops, I can spend these. And on any of our stuff here, infrastructure, cards, if they have the action keyword, I could take that action as a free action. Okay, this extra or additional action, it should be called really. So I can use my first trainer, Alex Mancha, and use his action. Now his action costs 1 fitness, so we'll have to pay a blue as well. And it says train a player, then you may place 1 fitness from the supply on his player card. So to use this action, we exhaust it. We can only do this once per week, and then we can choose to train a player. So I could train Jones. Okay. Now to train a player, you flip it to its other side. It's got 3 stars here to show now he's trained. Right, so this is a bit of a surprise. When you're buying players, you can't look at the reverse. I mean, you'll get to know perhaps, but he's gone from a strength 2 to a strength 4 defender. His special abilities disappeared, so it's not a possibility of temporarily increasing to 4 at a cost of 2 fitness. He's permanently 4. Okay, awesome. So that's a great defender. We'll put him in here. And then, as per this card, place a fitness token from the supply on his player card, and that'll be important when we come to match day. We'll see that in a bit. Alright, that's it. That's my 1 additional action. If you're playing multiplayer, everybody else will be doing the same on a Tuesday, then The stage marker moves up to Wednesday, we can go again. So our standard action. I'm out of money, so I'm going to contract a sponsor. That's a good way to get money. Here's our available sponsors. Who should we go for? You betcha. Right, let's take this one. Please shuffle down, the one becomes available. It doesn't cost anything, we're just taking a sponsor. And when you take a sponsor, there's 3 types. You can do 3 things with it. You can choose your contract. You could give the sponsor a shout out at one of our matches. That's a one-time effect, and that will give us 5 money. We could put up an ad board for You Betcha. And you start with 2 spots, but you can upgrade to 3. So you can only do this a limited number of times throughout the season. Hence you're limited. And take the middle effect, which is take £3 and then an additional 1 to our budget, increase this slider. Or we could do the third option, which is a shirt sponsor. Put their logo on our shirts. We'll get £1, but we'll put our budget up by 2. And we've got 1 space for a kit sponsor. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to choose a kit sponsor. I want to get my budget up. So I get £1 plus, or euro rather, plus 2 here. This goes up by 2. Then the bonus in the middle here, if you take the kit sponsor option, you get this bonus, and it says I can exchange up to 5 resources. Okay, and then we'll turn it face down, and there's our club kit with a sponsorship logo, looking sweet. All right, so we could exchange up to 5 resources. I think I want some extra money actually, so I'm going to exchange these 2, a red and a blue, for 2 yellow. Okay. I could spend 2 green for an additional action. I don't want to. Let's. That's my action done for the day. Let's move to Thursday. Right, final one. And here I want to get some more staff. So I'm going to pay 3. And I'm going to hire this guy. He's quite expensive. He costs 3. He's called Paul Bendington, youngster trainer. As an action, we can train or hire a youngster. Right, so we'll put him in our staff. And we might actually take this as an additional action. All right, let's spend these 2 green to do this action. It does have an additional cost, which is 1 more fitness, to train or hire a youngster. I'm going to refill this display. And we're going to hire a youngster. We'll grab this guy. Again, you're not looking at the reverse. He's only a youngster, so he's got skill 1, so he's no better than an unnamed player. But as a midfielder, he's someone I could then later train. All right, let's exhaust that action. John, I think I'll take one of those reds back, actually. We'll exchange 2 blues for yellows. Yeah, let's do that instead. All right, so I'll keep my red. All right, we're done. So that's our third and final action. We're moving to match day, and this will round out the week. At the beginning of the match, remember we've got 1 red cube. We've got 2 stands printed on the board. These ones we could upgrade. We can make these better as we go along. But you can place 1 red cube found in each stand. So we'll place our 1 cube here, and that'll help us at the end of the game. First, we decide which players we want to use this round. You've got 10 players. Any player with a blue token on it could take a place on the team, right, or replace one of these standard players. He's got a blue token on, that's why I said it was important. So because he's got a fitness token, he can play. He is fit, he is match fit. His shirt number is 3, so we put number 3 in the defender spot. And we can decide where we want to put him. There's basically 9 zones. There's 3 defence zones, 3 midfield zones, and 3 forward zones. You can put up to 1 player on a wing and up to 3 players in a centre zone. Okay. I don't have any more blue tokens. I don't have any more fitness, so this guy can't play. So he's on the bench. So for the other 9, remember goalkeeper's not pictured. For the other 9, we'll just choose our formation. So if we want to go like 4-4-2, we might do something like this. And then the numbers don't matter. Okay, we might do something like this. Now every token has a defensive side and an attacking side. football's attacking, we're trying to score. The shield is like a defensive, we're trying to block. We'll come to that in a bit. But before we fix our formation, we get a scouting report of our opponent. Remember I said there's 8 weeks, so we've got 8 opponents, one for each week in the game, okay, in this deck. So let's have a look at our scouting report for our opponent this week. It says the club promoted last season. Their only star is their right midfielder. He usually scores at least 1 goal. And they play 4-4-2. Right, so there's our scouting report. Have a look at some of the players as well, because they've got effects that kick in. So, for example, this one says, if opponent didn't score, increase your ops. This one says, after the match, roll a die, place an injury on the player. There's other effects that might be before a match. Right? So if they're before the start of the match, you'd be doing them now. Okay? So look out for those effects. There's things that can change up the game based on who you've got playing. We've got injuries, suspensions, okay? So some players may not be eligible to play. But now we've done our scouting report, we need to fix the position of our teams and decide who's going attacking, who's going defensive. You have to have exactly 5 shields, 5 footballs, right? 5 defending, 5 attacking. Now my scouting report said that their midfielder is going to be strong. It said right, but it meant left. I know this because I've seen it before. So they're going to be strong down the left here, our right. But I don't have a strong midfielder to put there. I've only got this strength 1 guy. But we're going to go defensive here anyway, just in case. I'm going to go full on defensive here, I think, and then attacking here. 2 in the middle. Yeah, something like that. Remember our number 3 here has got strength 4. So we could have them attacking, right, trying to score. But I won't. I'm going to try and put him defensive. I'll make sure he's preventing any goals that might come from this relatively weak opponent. All right, so there you go. When we play this out, you'll see how it works. But I've got 5 balls. I've got 5 shields. Okay, 5 attacking, 5 defending. We're ready to go. So let's begin. Let's reveal our opponent. We're playing Steelchester Football Club, Division 3, and this is how they're going to set their team. All right, I'm going to place this here. So remember our scouting report said they were playing 4-4-2. This is their attacking, this is their defence. All right, so it's this way up, attacking us like this. And at this point I can now play a tactic card. So reveal a tactic card. I've only got 1 for the start of the game, and it says I can gain 1 fitness and place it on any player card. Now this can be useful. I can pull this out of the bag at the last minute. So it comes from the supply. So I could actually bring this guy into the game. He's only a strength 1 anyway, so it's not going to help me. Right, so that's a tactic I've revealed. I'll put that back. I can use that in my next game. Once I've trained him up, that could be a useful tactic to pull this guy off the subs bench into the game at the last minute. Right, once I've seen their team. Pretty cool, huh? If we've got any actions on players, resolve them now. They're probably going to cost fitness, things like this. Okay. Now we're going to start resolving the match, and we're going to be comparing pairs of zones. Okay. So remember I said there's 9 zones. 3, 3, 3. So let's start up here, our left attack. Now we're looking for attacking players, those with the balls in. There's none for him, there's none for me. That's it. Nothing happens. Let's move over to this one. He's got 2 players in here. He's got 1 defensive, 1 attacking. I've got 2 attacking. We look at his attacking players. He's got a strength 1 player attacking. Do I have anyone in this zone with a shield that can block? I don't. So he scores a goal. 1-0 to him. I've got 2 attacking players. He's got 1 defending player. Strength 1. Mine's strength 1. Remember, everyone's default strength 1. So strength 1 is blocked by this strength 1 defender. He doesn't score. Then this strength 1 attacker, there's no other players to block. So he scores. It's 1-1. Alright, that's that zone done. Then we move to top right. He's got no footballs, no one attacking, nor have I. Okay, let's move down to the next zone. He's got no attacking players. He's got 2 shields. I've got 1 attacking player. I try and score. No, it's blocked by his strength 1. My strength 1 attack, his strength 1 block. No score. Now we go to the middle of midfield. He's got no players at all. I've got 2 attacking players with no one blocking. I've scored 2 more goals. 2, 3. It's 3-1. Now we go to right midfield. He's got 2 attacking players, a strength 1 and a strength 2. I can block the strength 1 player with my defender, my defending midfield, and block that goal. This strength 2 attack, I've got no one to block. He scores a goal. It's 3-2. Now we do the defence. Left side. He's got no one attacking, nor have I. In the middle, he's got 1 attacking, strength 1. I can block him with one of my defenders. Bottom right, he's got no one attacking, nor do I. That's it. That's game over. We win 3-2. That's a great result for us. 3-2. We get a win. So as far as the league is concerned, it's 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points for a loss. So we win, we get 3 points. Our opponent gets nothing. So he's still on 0. For gate receipts, we gain £1 for every red cube that we discard from the stands. €1. And then we have to make a match consequence roll, which is this table here. So again, we roll the d6. We rolled a 2, and that tells us for a 2, we won the game. We get an injury. So we roll the d10, see which player is injured. Player number 7. If we had a player numbered 7, they would pick up an injury token now. We've got players 3 and 6 in the game. Player number 7 would be injured. We don't have a named player number 7. That's no consequence. Some better results are from a win. If you get a 4, 5 or a 6, your resources go up. 5 or 6, the fans loved it. On a 4, ops go up. Okay, if you lose a game, these things may drop. Now for the rest of the league, we don't have to play out all the other matches, and this is where these dice come in. We roll a die for each team to see what result they are. Now there's blue, there's red, and there's green, corresponding to these 3 dice. Red teams are tougher, they got more wins. Blue, middling, green are the worst. If we do the 2 red teams first, we roll the red die. The first one gets 3 points for a win. Next one, 3 points for a win. Okay, so we're all level at the top. We got another red team. And they get 3 points for a win. Then we got a blue team. They get 0, they lost as well. That was the team we played against. 0. And then we've got 3 green teams. We got a win. We got a loss. And we got a draw. So this is quite abstracted, but over the course of a season, it kind of evens out, and the dice work well. It's a nice quick way to just give you an abstracted result. Now, some teams may have more than 1 game per week. If 2 human players play against the same team, if that happens, that team is then disabled and they won't be playing the following week. All right, so the league does kind of go up and down and a little bit abstracted, but that's cool. That's it. That's the way you resolve the league really quickly. And now we'll head into week 2. We go back to the Monday. We'll pull our resources once time. We unexhaust all our players. Tokens come off. We keep our money. We can keep, if we had unspent resources, we can keep 1 of each of these. So if any of these above 1 are unspent, they go back to the supply. But money you can keep. Obviously next time we can't get another kit sponsor, we've already got one, but we could grab sponsors for ad boards or just their one-off sponsorship bonus, which is a great way to grab money. So you can see a lot of it is about managing your resources, developing as the game goes on through these 8 weeks. Your staff is going to increase. Now, there are costs to that. As your staff goes up, as your infrastructure goes up, at the end of every round, you'll have a scaled fee that you'll have to pay in order to keep those staff and keep that infrastructure maintained. You'll see all that stuff in the final game. And you can see we've got 3 fitness coming up. So we've got 2 players that we could play. We're probably going to use our trainer to train up this youngster next time. If I flip him over, you'll see, there we go, he's a strength 4. So you don't really know what you're going to get, but Evans is hot-tempered. We lose a fan base when we sell him. The fans like him. So you can sell players, but he's a strength 4 midfielder. That would have been a good youth pickup. But obviously you have to train him using your staff. Keep that stuff secret. It's a bit of a surprise. So there is surprise elements to this game. And with different board meetings, let's just check another one. So we've got Anonymous here. Someone says one of our sponsors is investing in criminal business. Should we quit working with them? How will our board of directors vote? Let's see. It's a 4-4-4. We've got 1 for red, 1 for yellow, 1 for blue. In this case, we just re-roll. 5. Okay, so they vote blue again. No, probably not true. Who is this Anonymous anyway? And then we lose 1 ops. Okay, so the game does throw stuff at you. This round we're going to get 4 more money, so we're up to 5. 1 more fan, 2 ops, 3 fitness. And I know I'm going to want to use 2 of those for my players, 1 to train up my youngster. So I'm probably going to be doing that on the Tuesday. It was good to pick up youngsters, and someone like Garcia might be good, more defence. Maybe I'll decide and I want an attacking player. He's quite cheap. His strength, he costs only 1. I think they're going to adjust these costs, so this guy might cost 2, but a strength 4 attacker. After the match, roll a die, 5+, he's injured, so he is injury prone. He loses that when he's trained up. So there's lots of variability in this game. Different sponsors giving different effects. I mean, you can have a look through them yourself. Lots of different staff members. Ways to increase your club's stats. Remember I said one of the actions too was to try to increase your club stats. If I take that action, let's say I want to increase my fan base, maybe run some events or something to get the fans involved. What you do is you roll a die. If you roll higher than your current level, it goes up. If you roll lower, then it goes down. So if I try to increase my budget as an action, I rolled a 4. That's not higher. It's equal, and lower, nothing happens. So that's kind of a waste of an action there. Do you see? So you can kind of gamble, push your luck to try and push these things higher as the game progresses. They do peak out, so if I try to increase the fan base, all you do is gain an extra whatever symbol's here. So if I try and increase the fan base above 6, I just grab an extra £1 instead. So that's another way of trying to increase. Obviously you can't do it with the die, you'd have to do it with actions. Okay. And then of course just managing your team, managing your tactics. This is a great way to bring in a guy off the bench. If I did pick up Barbeau, I've got 2 player number 6s now. You can't have 2 player number 6s. So if I had these 2 midfielders, I could play him or I could play him, but I couldn't play them both. So, do manage your team, but I might, train him up and then decide to sell him, take the cash, reinvest it in the club. So, for example, that might mean buying some more stands, or I can turn fans into cash. It could be some infrastructure. So, for example, this is another free action I can take on my turn, or I could open up the 3rd ad board slot. You start with just 2, and this one has to be bought. Training facilities. There's plenty to do and see in this game, so look out for it. I can't wait to see the final game and the final component quality. That's 11 from Portal Games. Thanks for watching. See you next time.